Welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars, your home for the most unpredictable love tales and heartfelt turns in Turkish and international entertainment. Before we step into this fairy tale retelling, tap subscribe, give this video a like, and consider joining our community for exclusive extras and intimate behind-the-scenes glimpses. The stage lights of Turkish show business have seen countless romances spark and fade, but few have stirred the public quite like the bond between Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu. They first collided on the set of the hit series Kiralık Aşk, also known as Love for Rent, where their on-screen harmony felt almost too natural to be scripted. At first, people chalked it up to masterful acting. Then came the whispers, the sightings, the looks that lingered a beat too long during press junkets. Private dinners at tucked-away bistros, easy laughter shared after late-night shoots, gentle gestures caught by the quick eye of a camera. The pattern was delicate yet unmistakable, and the whispers evolved into a chorus. Weeks turned into months, and speculation became a steady drumbeat across fan forums and coffee shop conversations. Then, just when it felt like curiosity would burn a hole through the internet, the two stepped forward with a revelation that felt like a page turning in a beloved novel. The announcement landed softly but decisively. Together, they had chosen to bind their lives. The celebration, as intimate as it was luminous, unfolded at a breathtaking venue opening onto the Bosphorus, where the sea seemed to breathe with the evening breeze and the city lights shimmered like confetti. The choice of that view felt deliberate, a bridge between shores, a meeting place of worlds, a promise that differences can be crossed by devotion. He arrived with unforced grace, wearing a sleek black suit cut with classic lines and a calm dignity that drew people in rather than demanding attention. She appeared in ivory, the dress an exquisite balance of lacework and clean modern contours, like the memory of tradition carried confidently into the present. Those who were there say the light itself softened around them. The air was scented with flowers that released their perfume slowly, as if timing their bloom to the music. The playlist drifted from nostalgic melodies to quiet modern arrangements, each song chosen with care to tell a story of its own. What tugged at hearts most, though, were the words. A colleague who has known Barış for years stood and spoke with simple sincerity, recalling a time when work was a restless storm and focus came at a cost. Through knowing Elçin, he said, the actor seemed to find a new rhythm, a steadier compass, a calmer harbor. Then there were the voices of her closest friends, who described him not as a bright decoration in a thrilling life but as her anchor. Not a weight that held her back, but a steadiness that let her step forward, frame by frame, project by project. People listened and nodded, not because it was expected, but because this story felt earned. As the first images slipped into the public domain, screens warmed with their glow. Twitter, Instagram, and beyond crackled with movement. Instead of symbols for trends, there were words repeated and reshaped by millions. Barış and Elçin wedding, love crossing the Bosphorus, a dream from Kiralık Aşk walking off the set. Fans stitched collages that set iconic scenes from the series beside candid moments from the celebration. One comment captured the mood perfectly: it feels like the series never ended, it just changed rooms and stepped into real life. Another confessed, I followed Barış for years, and seeing this quiet joy, it feels like watching a story I didn't know I needed. Fashion writers parsed every nuance of her gown, the hue chosen to flatter the twilight sky, the lace pattern echoing centuries-old motifs without losing the purity of its modern line. Some offered style breakdowns of the suit and the knot of his tie, admiring restraint and precision over flash. Television panels even revisited the evening's playlist, mapping the songs to the couple's shared history, making connections that felt almost detective-like, yet still tender. The wedding might have glittered, but it also spoke in subtler tones, the kind that many viewers recognized as the sound of something genuine. Beyond the glow, this union carried a deeper resonance. For him, it felt like a renewal after a demanding journey, a quiet shift from relentless momentum toward a more balanced stride. For her, it was the clearest statement yet that ambition and stability were not opposites, that a rising career and a rooted private life could not only coexist but nourish one another. The Bosphorus, visible throughout the evening, became an emblem in its own right. Between continents, between expectations, between the public gaze and private truth, there is a span you can cross if you're willing to meet in the middle. Inevitably, questions bubbled up, the kind that keep fans awake at night, writing posts and trading voice notes. Would we watch them share the screen again, this time with the subtle gravity of a real bond in every glance? Could producers find a way to let life whisper its way into fiction without turning it into spectacle? Some wondered if the world of Karalakask might somehow nod to this new chapter. Others guessed we might see a new project entirely, a story crafted to reflect where they are now, not where they started. And of course, curiosity raced toward the same destination. Where would they slip away to for their first days as a united pair? On that last point, they kept their lips sealed, and somehow the silence made it sweeter. What came through, more than any rumor or theory, was a sense that this wasn't a moment staged for a camera lens. It felt like a continuation of the best parts of the story that once lived only in a screenplay. The glances that once hit their marks for a director now seemed to happen on their own. The rhythm of their conversation no longer carried the invisible metronome of a set, it moved with the ease of two people who found a shared time signature. The industry, often a revolving door of headlines about splits and reconciliations, paused to take in a tale that whispered a different possibility, that two strong careers could weave together without fraying at the edges. Their families and close friends moved through the evening like gentle constellations, adding warmth without eclipsing the couple at the center. The photographs that leaked out were not the glossy, overposed sort, but moments in between moments, a half-smile mid-sentence, hands reaching for hands, a veil stirred by the breeze, a candid laugh that made others laugh too. Even the decor seemed to choose intention over extravagance. Candlelight traced the outlines of faces. The tables held flowers that matched the room rather than shouting over it. And in one quiet corner, a guest book filled with short notes, inked by people who knew them not as characters but as themselves. In the days that followed, entertainment programs replayed the same few seconds of their walk into the room, as if those seconds held a key. Some analysts spoke about brand synergy and media strategy, but those words felt clumsy against the simplicity of the scene. Others leaned into the poetry of it, talking about how sometimes the best stories write themselves and we only realize it later. Meanwhile, fans kept telling one another the parts that mattered most, the way he looked at her when she wasn't watching, the way she touched his arm when she laughed, the way their steps matched without them noticing. For longtime followers of their work, the wedding felt like the final chapter of one book and the first pages of another. The earlier chapters were full of rehearsal rooms and early mornings, of screen tests and costume fittings, of marks hit and lines delivered, of a chemistry that started as craft and turned into something else. The new pages carried fewer stage directions and more lived in ease, a script written in glances and choices that no one else could make for them. If there was a lesson threaded through it all, it was that presence matters more than spectacle. Not how loud a story sounds, but how true it feels in the quiet. If you look closely, the symbolism of the Bosphorus kept returning like a refrain. On one side, work that follows you everywhere. On the other, a home you carry with you even when you're far from its walls. Between those shores, a span of light where two people can meet and say yes to both. It's the same path countless others take in less photographed ways, the same balance every couple tries to keep. Perhaps that's why this moment resonated not just with fans of Karalakask, but with anyone who knows what it's like to be seen and supported by the right person at the right time. Where do they go from here? That's the question that stitches together the rumor mill and the dreamers. Will a future production let them work side by side again, more attuned than ever? Will a director build a story shaped to the contours of their present, where the lines carry a little of their heartbeat? Or will they keep their professional paths independent for a while, protecting the hush of their private life as it finds its pace? And that still-guarded honeymoon plan, tucked away like a secret postcard, might surface when the moment feels right. Until then, the world seems content to be patient, to respect a boundary that, for once, is clearly drawn. Their story, from co-stars to life partners, has become a reminder that beneath the dazzle there are choices made with care, promises kept in small ways, and a daily practice of showing up. In an industry where plots twist out of nowhere and headlines can be written overnight, it is a relief to watch something grow steadily, thoughtfully, and at human speed. Whatever the next chapter brings, the glow of this one will linger. It will sit in memory like the view from that terrace over the water, like the feel of music that fits the room, like laughter heard from just outside the door. So now we turn it over to you. Would you want to see Barış Ardak and Elçin Sanga share the screen again, this time with all that unspoken knowledge simmering beneath every scene? Do you imagine a new series that nods to the life they have built, or would you prefer a fresh universe that surprises us all? Tell us your thoughts below, and let us know which stars you'd love to hear about next. This has been Whispers of Turkish Stars. Remember to like, subscribe, and join our community so you never miss the most stirring moments in Turkish entertainment. Until next time, keep listening for the stories that move quietly and stay with you long after the music fades.